This is 604 Records Presents Versus. I am Ingrid Borges, and today I am here with the ladies of Fionn. It is Brianne and Alanna. How's it going, ladies?
Going well, yeah.
It's going well. Happy to be here.
Yeah, and I got to ask the most important twin question there is. Who was born first?
Oh, I love answering this question.
I think I can tell.
My favorite question. It was me. It's 45 minutes between us,
wow,
too. So
that's quite a difference.
Yeah. She was natural birth and I was a C-section.
Oh.
So thanks, Mom, for putting up with that. But I don't know. I always say like, she's the older twin, but I dare say I'm more mature. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah,
What would you
favorite thing to say when I get to tell people that I'm older. So I let her have it. I let her live in her little fantasy world over there.
Now, when it came to music, was it like both of you guys did it, or was it like one started and the other one had to join, or you were forced into it?
I think we both always wanted to do it. Like when we were growing up, we had stuffed animals and we'd like make them into family bands. Like I think we even had a name for the band. I can't remember what it was, but we made them like tour around the world. Like we made a little tour bus. So like, I don't know. I just think we always knew that this is what we wanted to do. So.
Yeah. Like our dad toured Canada with an Irish show band in the 70s. And he always had on the road stories about like the bus and, the adventure. And I think that it just really stuck with both of us. So
Planted the seeds early. Yeah.
Sweet. And I think I remember last time from interviewing you guys that you guys were like busking at like 11 or something at Granville Island. Is that kind of like when you guys first started like publicly singing music?
Yeah, that's the very beginning of our public singing. It was super scary, but like super important to our development. Like I think it killed off our stage fright at a very young age because there's nothing scarier than singing in front of people who aren't expecting entertainment,
Do you remember how much money you made? Would it be like a lot or just like?
Oh, it was a lot.
Wow.
I mean, we were like really adorable young twins.
Heck yeah.
Identical people singing songs in harmony.
It was a niche situation. So we got a lot of attention and a lot of $5 bills,
I know.
Back in the day, that was
balling back then. Like, I don't think I've ever had as much like free income, disposable income. Because, when you're like 12, you don't have bills to pay, you're just like, the money's just coming in, you're just
of cash,
keeping it
take
all
home every weekend. It was great.
Yeah.
Did you guys like keep the cash or just buying candy?
We just bought really awful clothing.
Yeah.
Like things that like, because I see a picture of myself in like a very like expensive outfit for a 13-year-old, like, like $70 shoes or whatever. And I thought they were the cutest shoes ever, but they have like tassels. Not to diss tassels on shoes, but just tassels not in a good way. And I'm like,
a lot of tacky clothes. Yep. A lot of tacky outfits.
Money
like,
well spent, I'm sure.
Saved it, but
And at what point did you guys join 604 Records?
We joined 604 around like 2017, at the end of 2016, like just as we were graduating high school. Yeah.
So like, were you guys doing music in high school as well?
Yeah, we gigged all through high school. So we played at like, we had a circuit of like little restaurants that we'd play at. And yeah, it was great because it just gave us a lot of experience that I don't know if a lot of people get necessarily at that age. So yeah.
Yeah. And we were also like going to Nashville. Back then we were a country duo like throughout high school. And we were going to Nashville and we recorded a country EP, a little secret country EP that probably exists somewhere on the internet still. But I think it's been taken down. But yeah, anyway. So that was like all we'd done before getting signed with 604. And that's when we really started like recording our originals and stuff. That like first album, most of those songs we had written in high school in the last year, grade 12.
And was it like a weird experience doing it during high school? Like were kids nice to you or did nobody even know?
Everybody was actually really nice. Like I remember when we were in grade 8. Oh my God. We signed up for the talent show and I just remember like we were pipsqueaks in grade 8. Like we weren't cool grade 8s. So we were like, I look back on pictures, like I'm like, oh my God, what were we thinking? Because like grade 8, that's like you're the bottom of the food chain. So we signed up for the talent show. And I remember one of the teachers telling me afterwards that he just watched us get up and he just was like, he's like, my stomach just sank watching you guys get up there because he thought we were going to get ripped to shreds by all the kids. But we got up and we sang our little original song and we got a standing ovation from everybody in the school, which was so nice. And then they made us do an encore, and it was so sweet. And they all had like their phone lights, and they were like, you know, like in the crowd. It was great. And so then that teacher was like, I was dead wrong. And but it's funny now that, because when I look back on pictures, I'm like, oh God, yeah.
Yeah, we
like,
were
bold for doing that. That's for sure.
So did you guys win the talent show then?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
We did win the talent show. Yeah. So then, people were really supportive of us throughout high school. So yeah, it was just, people knew we did it. People were really supportive of it. Very nice. Yeah.
That's sweet. And you guys just went to like a regular high school? It wasn't like performing arts or anything?
No, we went to a Catholic high school. Yeah. Yeah. So it was kind of small. It was a nice community. I think most of the kids were really nice too. So that like also helped.
That's good. Yeah. I always hear about like child actors, and I was wondering if it was the same with like teenage musicians, if like kids get jealous. But
I feel like maybe if we went to a fine arts school, maybe that would have been more of a problem. But I don't know. I just think that at that school, not as many people were into fine arts. It was more like maybe the sports kids that were a little bit more competitive with each other. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but who knows? Who knows what people were saying behind our backs? But at least to our faces, everything was really nice.
Yeah.
Well, another cool thing you guys did is I just saw you guys went on like, it was your first headlining tour in Canada. But have you guys toured before that? Because you guys went to Nashville at least.
Yeah, we went on a tour in 2018 with an East Coast artist called Royal Wood. And that was like, we opened for him across the country. And that was such a cool experience. Definitely a lot different than what we did this time, because we went as an acoustic duo and we were singing more folk music back then. So I was playing the mandolin and Brianne had the acoustic guitar. And that was kind of crazy because we get up in front of these crowds and everybody would be dead silent. Like, you know, it's like a sit down show. So I remember we played Massey Hall and everybody was just dead silent, like a full Massey Hall in Toronto. And it was kind of terrifying, but like a great experience, because honestly, even like, I feel like playing in like more of like a kind of rock show vibe, like everybody's kind of talking in the crowd and they're like cheering right when you get on the stage, which is like, that's kind of helpful because it like pumps you up. But I feel like the energy from the other tour, like, I don't know. I feel like it was like helpful.
Oh, it was just like, yeah, I feel like once you can play to like a dead silent crowd, you can kind of play to any crowd, you know, but people really liked us. Like the crowds were always really receptive and very sweet. But
it's just a different vibe when it's like a folk show. People are kind of just quiet.
They're there to sit and listen.
Which is great.
Yeah, that tour was also really different from this tour because we had this guy named Henry that was our sound tech and tour manager, and he was driving us around the whole time.
We didn't know how to drive.
It was so like
at the time
luxurious. Like this time we were just like, it was guerrilla style, like, you know, it was all us, like for the most part, like
so much and we had amps this time because
wow,
just so much equipment and
guitars,
and then the drum machine, and then drive when you're doing the drives yourself, like just a lot more tiring, but it was a really good experience.
So fun.
Yeah, you have to stay really organized. Like there's no one telling you like, you know, what time you got to hit the road. So we learned a lot. It was really cool.
So it was just you two in the vehicle?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Honestly, it kind of helped with my driving anxiety too, because at first I thought that was going to be really scary, but because I'm so used to just driving on the highways here.
Yeah,
like, but I'm not like an adventurous driver.
We were worried that it was going to be snowing because it was in November in like Alberta and in Ontario. We were like, oh my God, like we can't drive in the snow. We're from Vancouver. We can't drive in the snow. And luckily there was like unseasonably warm weather the whole time. I feel like it was just like the universe looking out for us or something. So it was just
for
like
us specifically. We're really important.
Just
if anybody didn't know. Weather changes wherever we go.
No, but, well, you know, I'm sure that the people in Alberta and Ontario didn't mind it either. Like that nice little bit of pocket of warm weather in November. But anyway, it worked out in our favor because the driving was really good. So yeah, there's honestly not too many bumps in the road on the tour. Like it went really smoothly and it was a great experience. And we got to meet lots of new fans, which was like the best. I was like, we have fans? Like, just like, we didn't know, like we didn't even check the ticket sales before we went on tour. Cause we just didn't, you know, you don't want to get in your head about it. I was just like, we're just going to go there. We're just going to play whatever. And then like, yeah, every show we'd show, there'd be like very dedicated people there, which was like it was just like such a blessing. Like we were so grateful.
I could have cried. Like when I got home, like I actually could have cried. It was
like, we have all these friends in Edmonton we didn't know yet.
Yeah, I know.
It was like really cool.
Oh, that must have been nice. I'm also wondering, like, what's it like being on tour where it's just like, what do you eat? When do you sleep? What do you do in between shows and all that?
It's funny because our mom was like, you're not like spending the nights drinking, are you? And I'm like,
absolutely not. She was worried we were going to party. I was
she's like, are you partying a ton? And I'm like, are you kidding? Like, no, like it was so like regimented. Like you get up, you drive, you get there for sound check, you do your sound check, you get ready, do the show, sell the merch, mingle. And then it was like, take down all the gear, go directly to bed, directly to sleep. Like
it was a lot of work. It was great though. Like, I mean, there was really not a spare moment I could think of.
Yeah.
I think there was like one cafe that we stopped in Hamilton. And that was kind of nice.
Yeah.
It was like we had a little bit of extra time.
But even then, we were making merch. We were making bracelets. Like we weren't ever just sitting chilling. Like we were in that cafe purely to make more little bracelets.
True, yeah.
But yeah, we ate a lot of Tim Hortons.
Grinding, yeah.
Yeah, we're a lot of Tim Hortons.
That's the thing about touring in Canada. It's like always a sure bet.
Yeah.
Tim Hortons is always a sure bet.
And it's kind of cheap, so that helps.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I just had like the, Tim Hortons breakfast bagel like running through my veins for a couple of weeks. Super healthy.
I know you guys did a couple of shows while you're out on tour as well. And I wanted to ask with like ET Canada and Breakfast Television. I wanted to ask what that experience is like, because it's like, I guess you're in a studio and there's like, is there an audience or it's just the crew members? Like, is it a weird experience compared to like playing a live show?
Oh yeah, it was scary. I mean, because we hadn't done a live TV performance before. I think we've only ever done like pre-recorded ones. So, and it was also like 4 a.m. when we had to get up.
Wow.
So we actually had a show in Hamilton the night before. So we didn't get to our hotel in Toronto until about 1 a.m, and we had to be at Breakfast Television at 5. And it was like, I honestly, like, because I saw that on our schedule, like at the beginning of the tour. I think I saw it like a month before the tour, and I looked at it and I was like, Brianne, look at this day. This day looks like hell, like the best kind of hell, like great hell.
Like we were really excited.
To
play Breakfast Television.
Just like,
we were like, how are we
morning people?
No.
So we were like, I'm like, what if I sleep in? Like, I'm like, am I even going to be able to play? Am I going to be able to sing? Like, I don't think we've never done anything that early in the morning, but like, you just gotta push through. And honestly, like I feel like it all worked out. Like it kind of felt like a dream after it was done, because I was like only half awake. It was just the crew, and they were all very lovely, so that helped. It was like there was just good vibes all around. But yeah, I remember I put like a little Totoro sticker on the back of my bass that a girl gave to me on tour just to like comfort me while I was on Breakfast Television, because I was scared. So I just like put it just so that I'd have like a little smiling Totoro.
But I think the good thing about at Breakfast Television, you get to do a sound check for like, we sound checked for like 2 hours before it was actually time to go.
We
went through the song like at least 5 times.
Yeah, so it was a good warm up.
So then by the time they were like, okay, 3, 2, 1, go, we'd done it 5 times. So I was like, I felt pretty good about that. But I think that the hectic energy is when like the host and the whole crew like comes rushing down like from wherever they do their stuff upstairs. Like this is in a different room, like where they do the music, and just like they're like, it's 5, 4, 3, 2, and it just feels so like okay,
like, get me off this ride.
Yeah,
but don't, because I'm also having a great time.
Yeah, it feels like when you're in one of those water slides with like the capsule and like the floor is about to drop from your feet, but you don't, you know what I mean? Like we're like, oh my God. But then I think what I've learned from these kinds of experiences is like you can always push through and do it, like you can always switch it on so that like these things always go smoothly. It's always just like the anticipation of it is the worst part. And then when it's actually happening, it's just like, there's just something in you that has the ability to just like turn it on, push through it. And I think it's really cool having experiences like this in our life, that it's like, it just makes you more confident in your ability to handle situations.
Cool. Yeah. And another random tour question I have is like, what's on your tour rider? Like, that's kind of a cool thing to have.
Ooh, I think
I don't even know we had a rider this time.
Do you guys get those?
Right? A few places we did. M&M's are on the rider. That was like, actually, because I think the car had the same stuff that we had from 2018. And like, I just remember it was like veggies. Why did we pick veggies? I mean, I guess that was like,
we were trying to be
healthy. Like, so I think a few times, because we didn't update it. So a few times we did get veggies, and I was like,
I don't want veggies.
I want veggies. Just
want bad food.
Yeah, like, what? Well, me in 2018 was trying to be so healthy. But like, no, I'm very grateful for the veggie platters. But we added like M&Ms as well, just so that there'd be like a little bit of a balance,
I think most of the time we just got veggies. So, which, like after all the Tim Hortons breakfast bagels,
I can't complain about veggies.
Yeah. Veggies can't hurt.
Get your vitamins. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm going to ask another twin question. I hope this isn't annoying, but is like twin telepathy a real thing?
Honestly, I think so. I think it is, because when we sing together, like, because I was singing with somebody else recently, and I realized that like we don't count in when we start singing. Like we just look at each other and just know when we're both gonna start.
I think we just like count in our heads, but we're counting at the same time.
But then I was like, when I sang with somebody else, I was like, oh wait, this doesn't feel like quite as I think I'm just we're so tuned in and like used to the telepathy that like I just thought that was normal, like when singing with somebody.
Yeah. So I definitely, we think that telepathy does exist. And like sometimes we'll be thinking, oh, like this is the weirdest one was, I went down like the YouTube rabbit hole one. When like you get, like those little like 60-minute, I don't know if this is just me, but like the little 60-minute like documentaries about like random like tragic accidents, like, and then you have to click, but like there was like, because you're just like, what happened?
You don't have to.
I know I should never click, because I just like this stuff haunts me. But I clicked on this one and it was like a documentary about somebody getting a face transplant, and actually it had like a happy ending, like it really improved this person's life, and like whatever anyway. But then that night, like Alanna was down the hall in her room, and like couldn't stop thinking about face transplants, but she didn't know why. But like meanwhile, I was like, like
it just popped into my head, and I was like I was just like, oh gosh, it's kind of scary. And then I like went to her room, and I was like, for some reason I can't stop thinking about face transplants.
Whoa.
And she's like, I just watched this documentary for an hour.
So it's just like I was watching the documentary, and the information was just getting fed into her brain in the other room.
It's funny, yeah. Like I think it's perfect for writing music too, because you're already on the same page.
Yeah.
But then I think it's much funny when you're working with like producers and people and they just don't get it.
I guess it's kind of nice though to get like an outside perspective with the producer though, because I feel like we're just so together all the time.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
Between the two of us, like there is no outside perspective. It's like one perspective.
Yeah, we are like one melded perspective. So yeah, it is nice to kind of like
have somebody on the outside. Like, yeah, actually I always find it like it is helpful. If we had a triplet producing for us, I think that would get a bit much of the same one perspective. So it's nice to have somebody on the outside.
And I also find like maybe it's similar, because like I lived with my sister and we're not twins, but I wasn't mad. Like I wasn't afraid to get mad at her. Is it similar like that too? Like you can be like, hey, I don't like this. Like you're not shy about it, and she'll understand.
We get mad at each other. Being a twin is like, okay, I always think like it's a complicated relationship, because it's like you just share so much with one person. And it's not even like we just share everything because we're siblings. It's like we share an identity because everybody always groups us together. And it's kind of like there's so many beautiful things about being a twin, but that is like inherently kind of frustrating. It can be a frustrating relationship, but like a beautiful one at the same time. I think a big misconception is that twins don't fight. Like people always.
Well, some twins, I don't know. I think it depends. Like I've heard in Tegan and Sarah interviews, they talk about how they can't live together. At least this is what I saw in an interview, that they can't live together because they fight too much.
Which I totally understand, but I don't think we're at that level. Like we're fine living together.
Yeah.
We enjoy it.
We did share a room for like a year, and that got pretty messy. I'm not going to lie. So it's like, at least, yeah, we can live in the same house, but just like separate rooms is beautiful. But yeah, but then there's some twins I know that like would never fight, So I think we fall somewhere kind of in between.
I don't want to like break up the band or anything, but how would it feel if one of you went solo or like did a side project or something?
Well, I feel like the natural twin response, I think when your twin decides to do something other than you, is like you need to find something else to do too. So honestly, I feel like if like she decided to do a solo project, I'd be like, okay, well, I'm going to do one too. We always copy each other. There's no way that only one of us would go off and do a solo career, because I think it would like inspire the other one to do the same thing.
I mean, I think that one day we could do solo projects, but I don't think that there wouldn't be any hard feelings about that. Like it might be something on the side. Yeah, eventually.
You guys are so sweet. And my last question is just to like wrap things up, talk about what you have going on next.
Well, right now we're kind of just working on new material, and it's been pretty fun. We're just like cooking up some new songs and just chilling out. Like I think we had like a few months of like, because we did like South by Southwest and North by Northeast last year, Rifflandia, and then like our tour, and then also just like a lot of local shows as well. And that was like a lot of fun, but like it kind of just felt like we were constantly like going somewhere. So right now we're kind of just in a little bit more of a chill period. And yeah, honestly, I think we're just looking forward to releasing new material. Yeah. And we did just put out a single last week. So that was exciting. And
yeah, go stream your type. Which one's my camera? Go stream your
the
type.
one that's like the one that's staring you dead in the eyes. That's your camera.
Go stream your type. Yeah, so that's like the latest song. But yeah, we're working towards another album. Cannot say when it's coming out because we don't know yet. But yeah, we're recording songs every week. So just, yeah, working towards that.
Awesome. Thanks, ladies. And thank you for watching. This has been 604 Records Presents Versus. I am Ingrid, and this is Brianne and Alanna from Fionn.